What's up, YouTube land? Xeno Gaming here with the German Grand Prix episode 10 of my career mode, and it's going to be a very interesting Grand Prix off the back of our excellent performance at the British Grand Prix. See, we did have one part fail, and Renault made some development upgrades and some other cars around us, so now we have the ninth best car heading into this Grand Prix event. So coming through now, you can see that we're doing a qualifying program. We struggled to beat the lap times, and the reason is because the engine was severely worn, 3 different components there, and so that needs to be changed out. And we just couldn't achieve the lap time at all with those parts worn. We're just losing too much power down the straights, unfortunately. So we had to change the engine. I was hoping not to change it before qualifying. You can see there we got the new components in for the next practice session, and we're able to do the fastest middle sector as we'll go on board for the end of this lap. But practice, you have your troubles in practice, as you can see here. I just got a little bit too greedy with the car track, put the left front tyre on the grass and ruled in that lap. So because these tyres in a qualifying run, they're really only good for 1 lap in terms of grip. Second lap we had a cool off lap to save us the ARS, and went out again and down on time, pushed way too hard through the fast right hander and spun the car. So we did not complete the qualifying program. As you can see here, qualifying will be completely dry, but the race has got some weather. So let's go on to qualifying now. And first run here on the medium tyre. I got to remember to change it to the softer compound. I've done so for the future episodes to make sure I have extra set of softs for the first run. Anyway, medium tyre, no good. On the soft tyre, however, we were improving, but not by enough, unfortunately. So it's P18 only for the German Grand Prix, which is very disappointing. But when you have the 9th best car, I guess, the Williams cars and your teammate who you're aiming to beat. Unfortunately, we could not achieve beating Albon today, but at least we're ahead of the Williams cars, but still very unfortunate. Need to be doing better in qualifying than that. Haven't made through to Q2. So yeah. Welcome to the 2020 German Grand Prix here today. A wet one, very wet conditions at Hockenheim. Maybe a one stop looking at it from this chart, but if the wet weather, that's just, I think the only reason to be doing a one stop will be because of light rain coming towards the end of the race. But anyway, here we go for the start of the German Grand Prix, and it's lights out, and away we go for the Grand Prix. And tricky conditions are going to start on here, and you can see Russell's got to fly, but we're able to go back down the inside, keep him to our outside, and keep the position here as we come in now in towards turn 2, and we go deep on the brakes, way deeper than the guys in the front. As you can see, Gasly ahead due to his grid penalty starting down the back of the field, and we're able to get past our teammate Grosjean, Lance Stroll, into P15 now on the run to turn 6, the hairpin. So positioning the car to make an overtake. Hulkenberg on the inside, Gasly on the outside. Ricciardo's in there too. We're going to go down the inside. Couldn't quite get past Ricciardo. Neither could we get past Hulkenberg or Gasly. They've gone around the outside anyway. Now moving on the run to the left-hander of turn 8. can we go down the inside of Gasly? We're going to have a look. Well, he's closed the door. We've broken off a bit of our front wing. Have a nice slide out of the corner. Almost spun the car, but managed to hold position. But we're struggling with the understeer now. Unfortunately, that's not done us well, and we go very wide into the fast right-hander and lose position to Stroll. Grosjean. Albon comes barging into the side. He couldn't avoid us, even though we were pretty much off the track. We managed to keep ahead of our teammate, and I believe he picked up some damage when he ran into the side of us. We didn't pick up any further damage as Verstappen leads this Grand Prix to open. So, yeah, not the best first lap. The first half of the first lap was great, not so much the second half. And now we're going to learn how to deal with this front wing damage. As you can see, the understeer is telling already, going wide through turn 1. But now moving on to lap 4, we haven't come into the pits. You can see Albon is struggling behind with his front wing, and he's holding up the 2 Williams cars. But we've managed to get used to it and hold on to our position and keep up with the pack. But Lewis Hamilton is out of this Grand Prix. He's had a failure of some sort, and that's going to be a disaster situation for his championship even further if it already was not looking good. Anyway, moving on to lap 5, and you can see we're coming up to the back of Ricciardo now, who has got some power unit issues. That's why he's going slow. Grosjean's got past him. We go down the inside here, but he holds it around the outside. We pretty much had to cut the corner because you just don't know how tight the AI sometimes are going to cut the corner. Anyway, unable to get past Ricciardo there, and now we are stuck behind him for this final sector with him in his ailing Renault. So that's no good as we come now onto the main straight, and you can just see the difference in power he's losing as we're able to get alongside into turn 1 and make the move stick. So P15 now for us in this Grand Prix, as now we're going to be chasing down Roman Grosjean here on lap 6, but it's a safety car. And now this is one of the most embarrassing moments for me this season, as the safety car came out and I was so concerned about boxing and getting another set of wet tyres to take to the intermediate period that I've copped a penalty, a drive-through penalty. I was concerned about getting a new wet tyres on, fixing the front wing so I could have some downforce back and some lap time. Pretty much a free pit stop for us, but not concentrating, thinking too much about the pit stop has cost us. And now coming in for the pit stop, a glitch. That would happen on every pit stop we did today. So nice little weird animation here that spins us around, and yeah, very, very weird. So the pit stops at Germany not working the way they should. Anyway, now coming back to the start of lap 10 for green flag racing, and we are unfortunately with that that's a drive-through penalty that's cost us. But anyway, we're going to get underway, and we go down the inside of Kubica here, but not close enough, so we try to open up the angle so we can get him, and we have done so very nicely, and we will pull alongside Robert, but his Mercedes engine and a bit of slipstream from Russell's helping him. So now we got slipstream from Russell. We're pulling ever closer. We're past Kubica now. Now we're going to try and dive around the outside of George Russell. Can we make it stick? Almost hit our teammate in the process, but around the outside of the Williams cars. Much more grip on the fresh tyres as well. So that's past both the Williams cars in one go. Nice move there as we have a huge slide through turn 7. And now we are behind Albon, who did not come in to get his front wing fixed or change the tyres. So he still is quite slow. And so is Daniel Ricciardo, as you can see. But we have a drive-through, so that this one will not matter. We try to go around the outside of Albon, but nothing doing there. And we just kind of have to stick behind him. But we're coming in anyway to serve the drive-through penalty to get some clear air and make up as much lap time as we can. So in we come for a drive-through penalty, which is really unfortunate. I thought points were a chance today. Anyway, cutting to lap 15, and the guys have switched to intermediate tyres. My engineer at this point hadn't notified me about it. You can clearly see it is drying out the track. It's getting lighter of the rain. And we've actually caught back up to Albon. That's how slow he's going. He's been overtaken by the Williams cars. But the engineer didn't notify me about changing to intermediate tyres, possibly. And as soon as I saw Hulkenberg on Inters, I didn't realize. I don't know if I realized it, but I realized it here at this point that he was on Inters, and you can see how slow Albon's going. But Hulkenberg down the inside of us, and we're able to just maintain it on the exit, but he's still there, and we go wide because he's there, and around the outside we've got position, we've got the line for the corner, managed to hold him off just for now, and Albon's still going really slowly, and can we make it maybe a form of defense, a form of attacking our teammate, but you can see yellow flags at the main straight, which is interesting, but note that for later, as we still can't find a way past Albon. We're going to have to wait to the main straight because it's just, there's nowhere to overtake here in this last sector. It's almost all one line. It's hard to dive on the brakes, and you can just see how much he's holding us up as we decide to stay out because, once again, the engineer hasn't told us to come in for intermediates yet, as more drivers are pitting in for intermediates, including Daniel Ricciardo, who I believe at this point has had his power unit issues resolved because he got up to speed quite nicely. So nothing doing there as Albon has a look, but Grosjean coming out of the pits has a look. Wrong driver, and you can see the grip on the intermediates is obviously better because we're unable to keep up with the drivers ahead, Ricciardo and Raikkonen, and Roman Grosjean does get past us eventually. I'm not sure, it might be next straight, can't remember. As you see, we're struggling with the wheel spin, and we do call to box this lap for intermediates. So maybe Grosjean doesn't get past us. I can't remember. Should just wait for the commentary to play up. As we have a big slide here, and tyre wear isn't that bad, but just the overall grip is gone. Need the intermediate tyre for the faster tyre. Yep, here goes Grosjean down the inside. We leave him room. He's still there on our inside now. Is able to make the move stick, and nothing we can do about it as drivers are setting quicker lap times on the intermediate tyre. So it's time to make the change as we come in now for a set of intermediates. And so does our teammate Albon. He follows us in, so that's unfortunate for him, but really poor planning from the team, like to not call us in earlier for intermediates when it was clearly the optimal tyre for the conditions. And once again, pit lane glitch, so I'm not sure what's going on there. And you can see Albon's waiting in a weird spot as well. It confused me, and I put the gear, didn't release the clutch properly. But anyway, moving on. So this is lap 17 exit in the pits. We're now moving on to lap 20. You can see Sebastian Vettel in 17th here on wet tyres, and this is quite odd as he's coming into the pits now. So it really was quite odd. And then Leclerc as well, struggling. And remember those yellow flags I was talking about before? It was indeed the Ferrari drivers. I'll show you in a later clip what it has been happening to the Ferrari drivers. They've been glitched as well. So we've had a pit stop glitch, but it doesn't actually affect us in terms of the race. We're still able to change the tyres. It doesn't cost us time. It just looks weird. Where the Ferrari drivers have actually been affected, where they're coming into the pit lane, as you can see here with Leclerc, and then glitching back out onto the racetrack and not getting their tyres fixed. So they're stuck on the full wet tyres, and there's nothing they can do about it. So weird glitch there that Codemaster's going to have a look at. And lap 24, when we finally caught some traffic, but that traffic comes immediately into the pits, with that being George Russell, Hulkenberg, Romain Grosjean, as they came in for another set of intermediate tyres as they felt like their tyres were wearing out. However, the conditions that they are staying wet for the rest of these light rain conditions for the rest of the race, so I didn't feel like my tyres were wearing out, so I didn't feel like I needed to come in for another stop. And I also thought it was a good opportunity because I was already behind because of the drive-through and losing maybe 10 seconds and not pitting immediately for inters. That it catches us back up to the pack, which is a good thing. As Verstappen sits fastest up of the race, 1 minute 24. And I can tell you now, it felt like every single lap he was setting the fastest lap of the race. So Max Verstappen was absolutely flying. In the meantime, we've got Grosjean in our rear. Now we're cutting to lap 28. And Sebastian Vettel is out of the race. still on wet tyres and still was not able to make a pit stop. So maybe he's just had enough and pulled to the side. And yeah, that's really weird what was happening with both Ferrari drivers. But anyway, uneventful to the end. Grosjean was behind us but never challenged us, never made an overtake attempt, never pulled alongside. And we were able to hold him off to finish P12, so no points today. So that was the German Grand Prix for this year. We finished 12th. Eventful race for us, but not in a good way. Uh, Hamilton retires, Vettel retires, Leclerc finishes 2 laps down because of the issues he was having. But Max Verstappen wins the Grand Prix with Bottas second, and Sergio Perez a brilliant third with Hamilton, the two Ferraris in trouble, and Gasly starting at the back. He takes advantage of the opportunities when it comes to taking podiums, and he gets a podium. So now coming after the race, we are upgrade some aero bits on the front wing and rear wing. Or I think it was just that one update, sorry, on the front wing. And also, yeah, that's the only upgrade we make. And we have a chassis development waiting for us as well. So, yeah, great race. And with the two Ferraris not scoring, Verstappen and Bottas scoring well, and Hamilton not scoring, it means that it brings those two drivers closer to the Ferraris in the championship battle for the driver's title, as you can see there. So, yeah, anyway, that's been the race today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one in Hungary.